And then there were two. I know it's been a week since the conference championships were played, but there's still another week left until the Super Bowl. And those games were kind of crazy. Well, the AFC one was. The NFC one was over when it kind of started. Philly, how'd it go? It was 7-7. Then Philly regained the lead, and they never looked back. The Niners were completely lost. They lost another quarterback. Brock Purdy got injured. I swear, Niners quarterbacks, for the last, I think, 10 years, Niners quarterbacks have been jinxed. I don't know what it is. I mean, Alex Smith couldn't keep a starting job there. Colin Kaepernick was thriving until racists decided that he hates America, for telling the truth. They had Jimmy Garoppolo, who's pretty much the best quarterback they've had since Kaepernick, but he can't stay healthy. He got injured during the season. But before that, Trey Lance was their planned starter. Big mistake. He couldn't beat the Bears. Even I could beat the Bears. And he got injured during week 2, which forced him to go back to Jimmy. And then Brock Purdy gets injured during the NFC Championship game. I mean, like I said, 49ers quarterbacks are jinxed. It's ridiculous. But yeah, the Niners weren't winning this game. They weren't. Though I thought it would be a little bit closer, but it was over before halftime. So the Eagles in the Super Bowl for, I think it's the 4th time in franchise history. They were in Super Bowl 15, lost to the then Oakland Raiders. This is when they were originally in Oakland. And then they made it to Super Bowl 39 and lost to the Patriots. And then, but 13 years later, they made the Super Bowl 52 behind Nick Foles, and they won that one. So this is their 4th appearance in franchise history, and they're looking to get a second one. This is Philadelphia's second. This is the city of Philadelphia's second chance at a sports championship, coming months after they were in the Phillies were in the World Series and came 2 wins short in that crazy Cinderella run. Now the AFC Championship had a little bit more chaos. It was close throughout. There was no real big lead, but it did But Kansas City was kind of leading for the most part because Patrick Mahomes had a demon to exercise, and Cincinnati had their chances, but that offensive line, it was suspect when it was healthy, but it was not only suspect, it was banged up. I think 3 players were out. But Cincinnati did get another chance, and they ended up going 3 and out. They had to punt to Kansas City, tied at 20, and the return was kind of good. But even so, I was looking for overtime. I really was, because there's still yet to be an overtime in this year's playoffs. Remember, they changed the overtime now because both teams are guaranteed to get the ball, but they changed the overtime rules, and I really thought we were going to get it. Then after Mahomes gets the run, they had to commit a late hit, which was really stupid. That put him in field goal range. Butker makes it 3 seconds left, and that's pretty much it. So the demon is exercised. The demon is exercised, and Kansas City's back in the Super Bowl. This is their 3rd appearance with Mahomes and their 4th overall. But this is their 3rd appearance. It's their 3rd appearance in 4 years. They won Super Bowl 54. They got pummeled in Super Bowl 55, and of course last year the Bengals actually went to Arrowhead and beat them in the AFC Championship. This time they'll go. The 4th time was the charm. So they're off the schneid against the Burrow Bengals, and the poor. There was a lot of chest pounding in Cincinnati because the mayor was talking a lot of shit. Called Arrowhead Burrowhead because they were 3-0. Burrow was 3-0 against them. You really need to be careful with that. Shit talking ends up turning into turns into things that age very badly. And I've seen it a lot. I've seen it happen a lot, and the mayor of Cincinnati was victim of it. So we got Kansas City and Philly in the Super Bowl, both top seeds in the Super Bowl. There's quite a few storylines in this. Number one, it's Andy Reid against his old team. Of course, Andy Reid coached the Eagles for many years, even coaching the Super Bowl 39. And coaching through all those deep playoff runs. They made the NFC Championship but fall short, but they finally cracked through in that 04 season. So, yeah. So, we got that going. Another storyline. Jason and Travis Kelce will face each other in the Super Bowl. First time in NFL history that a set of brothers will face off in the Super Bowl as players. Because, 10 years ago we had the Horror Bowl, but they were head coaches. John and Jim, of course, John won that one. And but here's the thing. Here's the central thing here. For the first time in NFL history, we have two starting black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. And Jalen Hurts will be the 8th. Jalen Hurts will be the 8th. Patrick Mahomes became the 7th 3 years ago, and Jalen Hurts is now the 8th black starting quarterback to be in the Super Bowl. The other six on that list, in chronological order: Doug Williams, Steve McNair, Donovan McNabb, Colin Kaepernick, Russell Wilson, and Cam Newton. Because of Donovan McNabb being in that club, the Philadelphia Eagles become the very first team to send two starting black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. McNabb and, of course, Hurts now. And that's pretty big. That is very big because as a black football fan, the first couple of black quarterbacks I ever saw, I was a kid. It was Warren Moon and it was Randall Cunningham, and I was like in awe seeing a starting quarterback with my complexion. And as I got older, I would learn how unfairly black quarterbacks were judged. Some were even stupid enough decades ago to say they're not smart enough to play quarterback, really. But Jay Cutler is, Zach Wilson, Carson Wentz, because they're just geniuses at the sport. I mean, you gotta be complete. No one throws interceptions in that fashion like those three stooges do. But even now, we're in 2023. We're in the second month of 2023, and even now, black quarterbacks continue to be unfairly scrutinized and criticized and judged. Look at Lamar Jackson. Look what's happening with Lamar Jackson. He's being picked on. He's being completely picked on. You have idiots say he's a running back pretending to be quarterback. No. He doesn't. What's the number one thing they say? He doesn't play the right way. Really, what is the right way? I mean, seriously. And they say that and the Cardinals did that same nonsense to poor Kyler Murray. He carried them to the playoffs, and I mean carried them. He carried them to the playoffs in 21. And what does he get from his team? You need to watch 4 hours a game for to learn how to play the position. Really? Oh boy. Kyler's too nice to do this, but Kyler should have been laughing his ass off when the Cardinals missed the playoffs. It wasn't him. It was the bad coach who they gave a truckload of money to, and now he's off somewhere else after they fired him. They had to pay him, but yeah, it's this matchup, this historic matchup, quarterback matchup. It's many decades in the making. It's many decades in the making. Now, I feel that we didn't need to prove that we could play the position because past decades of good performances have shown we could play the position. Doug Williams proved he could play the position. He proved that his whole career, but he really proved it in Super Bowl 22. Doug Williams proved that, and Lamar Jackson proved we could play the position. Michael Vick proved it. Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon, Cordell Stewart, Dante Culpepper. Yeah, I like Dante. He was with the Vikings. He was with the enemy. He was with the big time division rival. But I was in awe of Culpepper because he was built like a linebacker, but he could still move. Like I said, Dante Culpepper, Cam Newton in his prime, Colin Kaepernick. I could go on. I said Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts, and of course Patrick Mahomes. All of them. Every single one, and there's a lot more I could name. Every single one of them proved we can play this position. We can. And it's high time we got respect for it. So I'm amped up for Super Bowl. I love Super Bowl Sunday. I'm a diehard hockey fan, but I've long known and admitted that Super Bowl Sunday is like the big sports holiday. It is. It's a sports holiday. It's the end-all, be-all on the sports calendar. It is. And I'm really amped up for it. I hope the game's close. I really hope the game's close. I do not want to blow out. I don't want to see one team up by about 3 touchdowns. I want a good close game. I think it will be because Philly is just as good as the Chiefs. Those two teams are monstrous. They each got their different weapons, and they both have quarterbacks who can do it all. So I expect a very good back and forth drag them out game here. So that's my recap of the conference championships. If you like this video, click the like button, click subscribe if you want more of my stories. Yes, plural on vocal will be in the description. One is about the conference championships. The other is about what I said before, the history of black starting quarterbacks who have started the Super Bowl. As far as winners, Doug Williams won, Russell Wilson won, Patrick Mahomes won. So either Mahomes is going to be the first to win 2, or Jalen Hurts is going to join that list. But that story and my recap of the conference championships both will be in the description below. Check them out when you can. And I've got a lot to do because I got to talk some hockey very briefly. But I will recap Super Bowl next week. So stay tuned.